All right. What's up, everybody? Welcome to my recap of InvestFest 2022. What I like to call it is actually the free cap. You know what I'm saying? Because this is free information that could be valuable for you, um, whether you were there or whether you look to be there next year. All right. So I want to give y'all a couple of suggestions, a couple of gems, a couple of advantages, disadvantages, and some takeaways and quotables. Because again, everybody looks for as much information out of events like these, where they don't happen as much as often, but now we're seeing for the second year in a row the collective and the growth of a people that actually look to gain more knowledge on the information about investing, starting a business, retaining their businesses, different things that has to do with a lot within financial literacy and entrepreneurship. So let's go ahead and get into it. All right. Now, I want to start off with my gems. All right. First gem, if you can, definitely stay with a friend. Okay, because utilizing your network with the people that you know gives a different kind of networking growth when you're able to provide spaces for your network to be utilized correctly, be valued or beneficial to you, and actually recognizing those same opportunities for you to reciprocate for them as well. All right, this will actually save you a lot of money, hotel wise, Airbnb wise. There's a lot of us gaining information about Airbnbs following Earn Your Leisure, but we could also see how sometimes those Airbnbs, especially around events like InvestFest or big conferences and festivals, the prices could actually range a little higher. So you could definitely save a lot more money if you stay with somebody you do know. If you don't know anybody, you met somebody within this previous InvestFest, I would say go ahead and tap in with them and get to know them more over the next year. Maybe that will be another space for you to help save money for later. All right, number two, I would say use Turo to rent the car for the weekend. Okay, Ubers can definitely be expensive in any city that you go to, but especially the further you go out in those rural areas, like on the outskirts of Atlanta, if you aren't staying within the city limits, it could definitely get pricey as far as getting an Uber to travel back and forth into the city for different festivals, events, and whatnot. So definitely renting a Turo, something like a very gas efficient car could cost you like 35, maybe 40 to $5 a day. So if you're there for like 2 days, think about as much as how much you would be saving by actually having your own transportation, free to move how you want to move with your own car rental. You don't have to take your car all the way from your city to that city to utilize the transportation as well. Step three, I would say visit a food court indoors when you go. All right, there's a lot of people that was out there lined stacked for fucking the whole sidewalk outside area, full of people just waiting to try these different cuisines out in these food trucks. That's the great thing about it. But also, you're looking at the lines. A lot of people didn't know that a lot more suggestions were available on the inside of the convention center at the far left ballroom area. So if you were there and you didn't know about that, take heed for that next year. Check out what's available on the inside before you step out into the crowd on the outside. Might save you a lot more time. You might actually get fed not only through knowledge but through these actual food court places, and an efficient time enough to get back to getting to whoever keynote speaker you came to see. Number four, I would say use the Hopper app. Hopper app is something that helps with flights as well as hotels, but I mainly use it for flights, saving money on any time that I travel. I don't go directly to the website like Spirit or Frontier or Delta, wherever, but I go straight to Hopper. They tell me within the time frame that I'm looking to travel, they'll let me know the very specific lowest price that I can, and for what type of flight on that on those travel days. So just if I'm knowing that InvestFest next year is around that same time frame, then I know I can go ahead and start checking for some dates around June, best times. But also on the Hopper app, if you buy it at a higher price when it's at a lower price later, you could definitely go ahead and get that difference. Step number 5, I would say parking. Park like one block to the right of the convention center, because one block to the left, you're paying $40 at least. You go a block to the right, which is where I parked, I paid for $8 for parking on Saturday and $10 for parking on Sunday. And that was all for like a 24-hour period. So let's say if I didn't even show up until 8 o'clock on a Saturday night to park there, I could have left my car for that whole $8, saved $32 from parking at $40 for like a limited time. A lot of people were stacked around those areas trying to park where they could. It was a lot of people looking to at least save money on parking. So I would definitely say go towards the right of that block, the convention center, way cheaper parking. Next, I'm gonna say the suggestions area. I would say out of my top 5, I would go is stand out, be original for your first one. Wear your brand. If you want to wear your brand in a unique way, I would say if you're an artist, do what I did. I painted my business entities on my jacket. A lot of people were commenting on it just to be like, yo, that's a fly jacket. Yo, I like that. I wear my NASA hat, let people know, hey, I'm either from Texas, Florida, California. You know what I'm saying? I'm not from here. But of course, this is Texas, big baby. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, just stand out, be original, wear your brand. If you wear it in an original way, do that, definitely. Be creative. It's like you are your walking billboard. So again, any way that you can promote your business in a unique way, definitely go ahead and do that. Step number 2, I would say provide value. Like for me, for instance, I had at least about 30 something of my stereotypes card games left. And I was either going to sell them or I was going to use it as a promotional tool. I looked at InvestFest as a great promotional tool opportunity. So what I did was just take those rest of the cards that I had left, put it in my backpack, and was just giving them out to people who I conversed with. Got to know people from like Boston, South Carolina, Dallas, a lot of different places outside of Atlanta. And just by networking and connecting with them, taking a picture with them as well with my card games, came about another promotional opportunity. So again, it doesn't always have to be you maybe selling something. Just provide value. You're already talking to them, they're interested in having a conversation with you. Give them something to remember you for. So you might have something that you're able to give away for free. I would say do that. Provide value in the conversation that you have with the people that you meet. Step 3, I would say get you a digital business card. Digital business card could come from companies like Dot or Vice. I got mine from Vice. This is like my card with my entities on the outside, but I have a QR code on the back. So for some people who had their printed out business cards, definitely a good tool to have always. But again, with things going more in the digital route, this could actually save you a lot more money. People can just take their phone, tap it up to the QR code with their camera, and now that takes you to all the information saved, whether it's on connected through Linktree or maybe like a created Wix website. Anything that you actually programmed to connect with that QR code is what it's going to be. So I would say definitely get your digital business cards. Step number 4, I would say support at least 3 businesses within that marketplace. The marketplace was like super packed, lots of different business to choose from CBD companies, authors, credit services, brands that we know throughout the InvestFest network. They were out there, but just support at least three businesses. Buy a T-shirt, buy a book, or buy anything. Maybe interact with what they have as far as their presentation. Just create those opportunities to network with at least three different businesses and support them as well. I would say step number 5 is follow up with your new followers. A lot of people networking, they get, follow me on this page, follow me on this page, and then sometimes that just stops. But I would say definitely follow up with who you're following throughout that event, whether if it's maybe like once a month, maybe quarterly, whatever. Just keep that same kind of network growing so that way if you actually do meet those same people next year, because I know it's going to be more. It's a lot of people there. But next year, I know it's just going to be bigger and better. So I'm expecting to see some of the same people that I've met, but also a lot more people that I haven't met. But those are my suggestions. Okay, now as far as advantages and disadvantages, I would say the good thing about the whole event was last year they had 4,000 people. I was not able to even go there. This year I was, and it was 12,000. That's 3 times as much as the first year. I'm already expecting like 25,000 people next year. So with that amount of people, the space was slightly efficient for what we've had, but the space that we actually have for So this year it was actually like 12,000 people. I'm expecting about 25,000 people next year easily. But if it ends up being times 3, that's already 36,000 people next year. I don't see it happening in the convention center. I see it actually happening in an arena, which is way bigger and better if you think about the amount of space and the opportunities that you can build around that space. But yeah, that's the advantage, disadvantage of the space and the size of people. Again, when it came to those keynotes and those big ballrooms, for the real key speakers, there was people standing from the front to the back on both sides, as well as like filling up the seats, which is awesome. But you think about the space and comfort of receiving information the complete right way, I would say an arena would be way better beneficial for opportunities like InvestFest for next year. Another advantage, disadvantage, I would say is like the photo opportunities or short conversation opportunities. So for a lot of people who actually did get those VIP passes, were able to have access to some of the speakers in a more personal way. So a lot of people I could see go for just to take a picture like, hey, I was with this person or whatever. And some people actually go for having those short pitch opportunity conversations that they have, or just some conversation to let somebody know that, hey, you were inspiring to them. Those opportunities, perfect for that VIP event on Friday. Now I would say as far as a disadvantage to that, I would say that location, it was kind of muddy on the outside with the rain, but the parking could have been better, but that's also why they suggest for you to take an Uber as well. So they had that part covered as being knowledgeable of that, but another venue could be picked for next year as well for the VIP section. But I would say another advantage, disadvantage, the advantage part end of this one is that they did have multiple keynote speakers at all of these covering different areas, whether it's real estate, crypto, blah, 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 investment, business, credit, everything. the disadvantage of it is very, very slight. It's just you have to pick between this ballroom or that ballroom if they're going on at the same time. So you might catch one speaker that when you really probably needed to hear all four, and just to go switch to a whole nother ballroom. It happens, but again, it's only a slight disadvantage. So really, that's all on your choice. If you kind of do it right, you can kind of catch everything that you need. Another thing I would say is icebreaking opportunities. They did have some interactive different things in the inside food court areas, like Big Jenga, some games that you would probably play at like a local bar or tavern or whatever. But at the same time, it wasn't anybody facilitating those things. Just for a suggestion, I could see if it's made in the arena for next year, I could see an indoor playground area for like just sliding around, just having it more fun and interactive aspect for indoor networking or indoor activities, but also having somebody to facilitate those indoor activities, kind of getting more people into networking with each other through the events within the events. So it's more of a suggestion versus a disadvantage, but that's on that. Now, last but not least, I would say the takeaway quotables for me. I'm gonna give you guys 6 because I know 2 is coming from Josh. I forgot his last name, but he's from NBC on the Wall Street Trapper portion of the keynotes. But he ended up quoting saying, "Great companies identify a need and come with a solution, but most needs come in a recession." So that got me thinking. I'm like, okay, if needs are definitely met within the recession, as far as like people focusing more on like essential things or going to Walmart, going to these stores, buying up X amount of products, those X amount of products that are being bought continuously during the times that people need things the most, we got to look at who's manufacturing those companies and things like that. But also taking that information and going into the next quote that came from Josh, saying invest what you live and understand. So if those times during like recessions, people are still like buying iPhone products and whatnot, and you own iPhone products, like you got an Apple Watch or iPhone or whatnot, you're still playing part into that investment system. So as long as you're owning those products and they're okay with you, and you see those same companies that's doing good, those are good green lights for you to actually have those investment opportunities, especially long term if you're looking to stick with those same types of brands that you're buying. The next quotable I would say would come from Idris from the 19 Keys, the keynote portion. But he is actually the founder of Spatial Labs, which is big on blockchain technology and things of that nature. So if you're like a crypto enthusiast or someone, I would definitely follow him. Can't remember his last name. I want to say it started with an S, but I should have wrote it down. But I do know his first name is Idris. It might be Idris Sandu if I'm not mistaken, but if I'm mistaken, please forgive me. But look for him. You'll see a guy named Idris within 19 Keys page or InvestFest page. But he actually gave a good definition to the blockchain definition, which was a way to record and evaluate data that cannot be altered, that cannot be changed, basically. And also document history on a ledger. So that made me think of opportunities where you have these things that are coming out like race theory or critical race theory, where they're changing education information and whatnot. With those things being able to be changed, you can still have history, true history, real history, not only about your business, but about culture, about living standards, everything that you can document. It can be on the blockchain and it cannot be altered. So once things are in the history books, it's no way to say that it's not valid and true information that you can still research versus how we operate now. We're on he say, she say media information or way more beyond that. But that was something that really got me thinking. Now, the next one comes from E.T. the Preacher, and he states that you need a system. Your system will outlast you. Your business is not a personality, it's a system. That stuck to me because it also made me think that, yeah, a lot of personality can shine through your company, but at the same time, it's a lot of entities that make up your business. So you might have accounting, you might have marketing, you might have business, other information, the architecture, the engineering of your business, a lot of different entities. You might not be very specific. You might just be the creative person, and that's your focus, that's your lane. You have to outsource those other things that you're not really good at, or you're not able to take the time to learn, or you just would like to outsource and give other people opportunities on doing what's needed for your business to operate the right way. So again, all of that came into you need to get a system to knowing that, hey, however you are, however that plays a part into the business system, that all still needs to be replaced again while you're still able to make the money from your business without having to be present for your business at the same time. So if you can replace not only yourself but others as well that help build the system from the ground up, going back to the blockchain and AI technology and things that you can actually automate through various systems, workflow, things of that nature, create that system, find what works best for you, through your interest in what you feel like you're made to do, and make that system work for you. But another quote I would actually say would be from the Budgetnista. She states to have multiple streams of happiness. That struck, as soon as she said it, I was like, that's a fire ass t-shirt. If somebody ain't making it, I might make it by the end of this week. But having multiple streams of happiness, all the money in the world don't mean nothing if you don't have the happiness, you know what I'm saying, around you to put you in the right mind state of what to do with the resources that you have, not only just monetarily, but with the relationships with people that you're working with. A lot of that came to mind when multiple streams of happiness. That was the cold bar right there. And I just appreciate moments like that, especially learning from other black women just beyond a wealth of knowledge. But my last quote I would say is, when they talk about you, it's a blog. When you speak, it's a press conference. That's a quote that came from Tyler Perry to Steve Harvey, as Steve Harvey was explaining in his keynote, a conversation that he was having as far as going an alternate route by the network and the relationships that you have in your ear to help you do the right thing instead of doing what you want to do, and it might not be the best option. Somebody else could help them come along the way with knowledge from other areas, and be that voice that your ear needs to hear for you to actually move the right way. But just that quote alone lets me know that, hey, again, it's gonna be like Steve Harvey was saying, it's gonna be people that talk about you regardless on your way up. You mean you focus on what you gotta be doing, and don't be so quick to respond, to explain yourself and things of that nature. Just do you. Do what you need to do, and everything's going to play out how it needs to play out. You know what I mean? Just play your role, do your thing, don't worry about nobody else. So those are my suggestions, my gems, my advantages, disadvantages, takeaways, quotables, all of that information. Again, it's going to be for me, if you haven't already, liked and subscribe my video, go ahead and do that, because from me, you're actually going to be gaining a lot more information within these next couple months. I'll be finishing my master's degree in innovation and entrepreneurship. So once I'm done with my major, I'll be able to be in a better position to actually educate everybody that I just spent $20,000 in a year to learn. So all the information that I just paid to learn, I'm actually going to be educating other people as well. Not only to start a business, but to also retain a business, have relationships not only with your customers, but your employees as well. Everything as far as business-wise, licenses, patents, all of that information I'll be covering on a month-by-month basis. So basically, reliving my past year as far as learning, but actually teaching. So again, if you made it to this end of the video, I appreciate y'all following. Go ahead and like and subscribe. Again, this is the CoinShip page, so it's going to be a lot of information about the CoinShip business, but also a lot of information about business in general and how to get started with your idea, because y'all are seeing it real time with me as a founder of a new company for the first time, but a serial entrepreneur. It's a lot of things that I'm learning, but it's a lot of things that I'm looking to educate other people on and save them some time too. But again, if y'all could follow me on Instagram and fan base at The Modern Innovator, The Modern Innovator. You could reach me by any of those platforms. All my information is attached to that, so if you need to get a hold of me, just follow that route. It'll lead you to me. So again, appreciate y'all time. Till then, I'll holler at y'all next Invest Fest 2023. Holla.